I bid you good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Let me just quickly adjust this light up here. It's too strong. There we go. It looks more natural here. Almost looks natural like my hair. Anyways, watch the last video if you want to know what happened. Anyways, we got something that's going down here, and it's going down for real. Guys, you know on the channel, I've been talking about public sector versus private sector. Public sector means government jobs. Private sector means I own my business, I hire you. Privately owned businesses, right? Well, this is not looking good, and I've been talking about this in Canada a lot because I know in Canada, when they want to prop the job numbers, they just get a bunch of pencil pushers working at some government office doing something, God knows, that we don't even need, or creating more laws in place to be able to hire more people, right? Well, here's the problem. This is coming out of Zero Hedge, and it is discussing what taxpayers... Now, listen to this. Making a fortune. 19 million public employees, public sector, public sector government jobs across America cost taxpayers nearly $1 trillion US. So I'm not sure in Canada or Australia or New Zealand how many public sector workers there are. I know it's getting big. And I know they need to create these jobs, but the problem is, well, they don't need to really realistically create these jobs. What this means is more government workers, more red tape, more bureaucracy, more borders, more everything, right? Unless they're hiring more police officers, I guess, or if they're hiring more, I don't know. There's a lot of things out there they could be, adding, but doctors. But in the States, they're private sector. Most of the doctors are private sector. Huh. For the first time in history, 19 million public employee salaries at every level of government across America have been mapped and posted online. The work of our auditors at openbooks.com tell a compelling story. Public service is supposed to be about serving the people. However, the good intentions of America's 19 million public employees came out of a high price for the people, nearly $1 trillion. In many cases, taxpayers generously fund these employee salaries. And this is the problem. I've been talking about this for the longest time. Public sector versus private sector. The damaging effect, the more government you put in just to create those job numbers. Canada did it. Canada was smart. Trudeau, the prime minister here, he is a smart cookie. He gets all these public sector jobs during the election time and gets 40,000 new jobs on the books, and it's all majority of it was public sector, right? Not private. And then boom, the next month after the election and he's in office, boom, I don't remember how much, with 40 or 80,000 jobs lost. It was just crazy. The online database is free to use, includes most employees within federal, state, local governments. You can search in your backyard or across the nation. Well, you should have the right to look up this information. It should be public access knowledge. Why? It needs to be public access knowledge because people have the right to know where their tax money is going, right? Find out just how much public employees made last year. Just say government workers. The salary records include name, salary, position, title, and employer for 2017. Tree trimmer, Chicago, lopped off at $106,000. New York City school janitors cleaned off $165,000 while out earning the principals at $135,000. Wow. So school janitors got paid more out earning principals? Wow. Lifeguards in Los Angeles County, California made up $365,000. In the small school districts, South Lake, Texas, 8,000 students, the school superintendent earned $420 large. Help the reform-minded mayors, school superintendents, legislators, and members of Congress by finding the waste, overspending, and bloated government in your very own neighborhood. And this is what's been happening for so many years. Here in Canada, I want to go do something and I have to go to a government office, like a public sector, in the public sector, whether it's getting something done with my passport or something. It's really sad. The level of English is just really broken. I remember, like, when I think it was a while back, I had to get my passport done. And it was a problem to get my passport done because I was having a really tough time communicating with the person. Then they got somebody else. Then they explained to me, I'm like, oh, okay, so I sign in the box, blah, 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 do this. Okay, that's great. But it's like, what's the point of having people to have people? Like, and then, like, you're having, like, it's like this. You know how I see it as when they add more government jobs? Okay, you know you have a ship, right? Let's pretend you have the Titanic, right? But then you have enough lifeboats to put all the people inside, right? Let's just say the Titanic was like that. You had all the lifeboats. So you had the lifeboats there for all the people. But then now they make more lifeboats, right? So then you can start putting the furniture in the lifeboats because there's just an overabundance of lifeboats. Then it gets to a point where you're going to put the lifeboats, into lifeboats. That's what I see government workers as, just like adding more on top. So it's like having a lifeboat. That's great. We need this here in case the ship sinks. But now we're going to make a lifeboat to put inside the lifeboat and another one inside that lifeboat just to save those lifeboats. Like, that's how I see the pileup of government jobs, government piling up. It's what's the point? We need less governing. Help reform search for your interactive top 2 million mostly highly compensated public employee across America. Just click on a pin on your zip code and scroll down to see the results that render the chart beneath. Click map here to access the map below. So here's the map below. I already opened it here to take a look at it. And here it is. Public salary pensions. Click on here. And then let's put in a zip code here. Hold on, I think it froze up here. Let's put a zip code in. Yeah, let's see where that... Let's see. So here it is. So here it is, broken down. Wow, it breaks right down. Holy crap. Here's the guy's name. Wow. James Dean, salary, $249,000 salary. Industrial author, Gate County, industrial. Wow. So you could zoom it out. Watch this. Keep going. And then you find somebody here in South Beach. Oh, there's only 2 there. Okay. I see how it works. This is cool, man. Let's see who else. Oh, there's quite a bit here. Hold on. 26 here. Let's go to Oakland Park. Where did I see it in Oakland Park? Ah, here it is. And this is what they make. 107, 100,000, 184,000. Wow. Wow, post office. 184 grand that guy makes. Wow, so much for the tax dollars, eh, guys? So much for your tax dollars, eh? Last year we found 1.7 million public employees earn 100,000 or more. The vast majority of 1.3 million six figures earned worked at the state and local levels. There were 105,000 local and state government employees out earning every governor of the 50 states at a salary of 190,000 and more. In Texas, 356 municipal employees made more than all governors. What? Some of these towns are small, like Stanton, population 2,900, where the manager earned 314,000. In Whitesboro, population 4,000, and Manville, population 10,000. The administrators were paid $312,000 and $292,000 respectively. Wow! Imagine living in a small town like that. The average house is like 90 grand. You buy a house for 250, like a mansion for 250 with a bunch of land, and then your second year you buy 3 cars, and then your fourth year, man, you're set, man. In Florida, city attorney and seaside community, Diana Beach, Florida, population 32,000, gleaned 436,000. That's more than any U.S. president. At Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, 8 police officers and detectives made between $300,000 to $783,000 last year. Nearly 10,000 employees of the University of California system pulled down more than 200 large. This includes 65 highly compensated public employees who made between $1 million and $3.6 million. Wow. So Washington, D.C. is one of the top places, or one of the top with more public sector. Employee count 360,000. That's 50 million? No, that's 50 billion. 50 billion, 243 million. Then it's California, 362, that's 50 billion. Then New York, 248,000, that's 31 billion. And then Texas is 78,000 employees, that's 12 billion. And then Chicago is crazy. Illinois is crazy. It's got like seven layers of government, 71,000 employees. That's $9 billion. Across the country, some of the largest salaries were paid out to the athletic coaches and public universities. The retired football coach of University of Oregon received $558,000 annual pension. Wow. And the fired Arizona State football coach got $15 million payout. Nick Saban, the University of Alabama, made $11 million. I wonder why student loans or tuitions keep going up like that. You're going to have to enroll like 3,000 students just to pay out this guy's $15 million payout for football. Our recent investigation found with Fox 32 Chicago found that Illinois superintendent earning $407,000 in Calumet City District, where there are only 1,100 students and no high school. Another superintendent made $206,000 in New Lenox District with only 11 teachers and less than 100 students. Still, another superintendent retired on a $300,000 pension at a Park Forest District, but was then rehired on a $1,200 a day consulting contract. Same position, same district, $1,200 a day consulting. That's American dollars. That's like 2,000 Australian dollars a day. Before complaining about Washington, D.C., people must insist on good government where they live. The people have the power to hold the local politicians accountable for tax spending decisions. Our mission is to make this information available to citizens and policymakers. Government payrolls are the number one issue affecting every service. Public safety, healthcare, welfare, pay, perks, and pension benefits, and public employees must be priority in budgeting when and deserve a rigorous, fact-based public debate. Compiling this database was a spending gnome project of sorts. It was a $1 million effort in 1 year. We filed requests, captured data from nearly 60,000 government employees, broke open files, mapped out the information, and posted it online. The result is the treasure trove of oversight opportunity. It represents approximately 85% of public employees at every level of government. Now, it's up to you to call out the waste and inefficiency of your government bodies. Your interactive map and search by zip code and the 2 million public employees making more than $95,000, or our website use 19 million salary records. Our open books on your local taxing body. See how they are spending your property sales and income taxes, then raise your voice and demand better government in your own backyard. It's not just the own backyard, because this suffers as a whole, right? And on a federal level, it hurts. It really hurts, because on a federal level, you have different levels when you get into the state level, and you get into different levels, municipal levels at the city level, state level, and the county level, then state level, then federal level for the whole country. I think, honestly, there's a mass misdistribution of funds. If they could fix this problem, because there's a lot of people suffering out there, while there's some people that are making what they shouldn't be making, right? And I've been talking about public sector employees basically are going to pull the wool over our eyes for a while, and we're going to think it as the norm, and it's just the way it goes. But realistically, there's got to be a realistic wage behind some of this stuff. It can't be what it is. It could be what it is, what we're seeing here. Maybe this is normal. I don't think it's normal. I don't think what do you call it? A cleaner or janitor should be making more than a school principal, right? There's so much more responsibility as being a school principal, right? You're more likely to be sued as a school principal than you are as a janitor. There's more risk, right, tied to that kind of level of job. I don't know, man, but this seems like a big deal, and that's why we're being taxed up the wazoo. And the more and more and more government jobs that they add, they should separate the public and private sector completely, and then look at, because in Canada, I'm thinking the private sector is getting private sector is diminishing. I think the public sector is starting to catch up with the private with the public sector. I think it's going to be dangerous. Once the public sector catches up with the private sector, we're looking at, it might be 50-50 across the board. And then we're looking at big troubles. I think there's going to be big troubles. Especially, I know in Australia, a lot of the people I spoke to, a lot of them work in government jobs, or they work in the banking district, right? So banking district is still considered deregulated. It's deregulated, so it's not really, but then you got quantitative easing, and you got the feds in it. So it's really tough to kind of diminish the differences in public and private sector. Like in Canada, for example, our news media or our news outlets now is considered federalized. Our federal government gave $600 million to our news companies here. The Liberal government gave $600 million to them. So now, in part, our taxes paid for these dinosaur media that no one watches. But then, realistically speaking, we're paying for that. So realistically now, it is a government public sector. Because if the government didn't bail out all the news companies here in Canada, they would have gone out of business like every private sector company should go out of business. But instead, I don't know why they received a handout. I don't understand why they just federalized our news. That's it. It's been federalized, plain and simple. You can't. I have someone that works in a newsroom that told me, I get these great stories. I got to get it through 3 layers, and then most of the time my stories get declined. So how do they afford to keep you on if they only publish 3 of your stories a year? Oh no, we get funding from the government. Oh, there you go, right there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And private, public, it's a big deal. Know the difference, differentiate the differences between them, and look in your own backyard and see what's happening. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.